Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have 8 reasons that you're probably not losing weight and they have nothing to do with food or exercise, so stick around. Number 1 is alcohol consumption. And the reason I say this because alcohol is simply empty calories. But not just that, alcohol clogs up your liver, and your liver needs to be clear and detoxified so that it can help your body detoxify all of the things that it needs to so that you can burn fat. And your liver is responsible for helping you metabolize fat. If it's busy trying to detox from alcohol and other toxins that you're putting into your body, it can't do that job. You need lots of water to help you flush out your liver, but also you need to avoid things that are going to clog it up and stop it from doing its job of metabolizing fat. Number 2, inconsistent meal times. Now, I'm guilty of this because sometimes I just get busy and I forget to eat. And then I'm really hungry and then I just grab whatever I can. I do meal prep some things ahead of time so I can just reach into the refrigerator and grab something that I've prepared ahead of time. I'm in the habit of doing that, or I have healthy snacks sitting around that I can grab those. If you're not in the habit of doing that, I do suggest it. But inconsistent meal times can make your body slow down the metabolism and not really expect, like, when are we going to eat next time? And it can make you hungry at times that you really shouldn't be. I do intermittent fasting and I have about a 7 to 8 hour window. Sometimes it's a 6-hour window. But usually by 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm done eating. I don't want to put anything else into my body. But if I were not being consistent with that, then my body would expect more food later, and so it would start making me hungry later in the evenings. I've trained myself to the point now that my body knows once we have our last meal after 6 o'clock, we're done. So if I feel any little hunger pangs, I'll just have some herbal tea and that usually takes care of it. But for the most part, my body knows that we're not eating anything else, and it just doesn't even give me those cues. That's also what happens in the morning when I have my fasting period before I have my first meal. I usually don't even eat until around 11 or noon, and that works for me because I'm just busy in the mornings and I'm just not hungry. But I just also think that it's just that my body's not used to eating during those times because I've basically trained it because I have more consistent meal times. 11 to noon is usually when I have my first meal. I have a smaller meal or a snack around 3 o'clock. Usually it's like an afternoon tea kind of thing. And then I have dinner between 5 and 6 o'clock and I'm done for the day. Number 3, this one's gonna be controversial with some people. I know they're very, very adamant about this. And that is not using a scale. I believe firmly in weighing yourself because I believe that you really need to know where you're at. If you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. It is just a tool to use to help yourself keep track of what's going on with your body. And that's not just about weight loss and fat loss. It can also be about monitoring maybe water retention. Maybe you had a 2-pound weight gain overnight. Well, that's not fat, that unless you just ate an enormous meal, but that's the food in your stomach that's actually weighing that amount. Typically, it's the sodium that came along with that food and your body's holding on to the water. And so you're having water retention. And for people who have heart problems or high blood pressure, those are things you really need to be monitoring. If you do have that kind of 1 or 2 pound gain overnight, that's something you really need to be watching and be cognizant of. Okay, I've had this weight gain. That was water. That's not fat. So I need to be really careful in the next couple of days and do whatever I can to reverse that water gain. And you can do that by just drinking extra water and laying off of the sodium, the sports drinks. So many people drinking these sports drinks. And so your body needs that extra water. And the way you can think of this is where the water goes, the salt goes. Where the salt goes, the water goes. If you're taking an excess salt, your body's going to take on that excess water so that it can equalize it. Otherwise, your body's going to have some really catastrophic things happen that I won't go into detail about, but just know that that's a problem. And then when you drink a lot of water, your body's going to pull the sodium out and go, okay, let's get rid of all this excess sodium. We've got a lot of water on board, we're detoxing, we're doing all these things, and that weight will leave your body as well whenever you do that. It may take a couple of days to catch up, but that's usually how it works. Also, I look at keeping track of my weight as a way to keep from having too much weight to lose at one time. A lot of people might say, well, if you only gain 2 or 3 pounds over the course of a year, that's not a big deal, especially if you're an average weight. Well, that's fine, but if you think of it that way and you do that every year, then over the course of 10 years, you've got 30 pounds to lose. And a couple of pounds is a lot easier to lose than 30 pounds. Or if it's more, 5 or 10 pounds, then you've got 50 to 100 pounds to have to lose after that 10-year period. So I find it a lot easier just if you see you've got that it's an actual fat gain, it's actual weight gain, not just water, that you can much easier keep that in check and get that off a lot easier if you just do it now, keep your weight down under a certain amount, and then that way you've got a little wiggle room too, a little bit of a working window, so that if you do gain a few pounds over a holiday or something like that, it's not that big of a deal. You're not going extremely over your goal weight. So get the bathroom scale. I know you think it's telling you ugly things and you don't like it, but just keep track of it just for your sake. Like I said, it helps you keep track of other things too. The other thing I want you to keep in mind about tracking your weight with a scale is that a lot of times, you do really well on your diet and you think, okay, I did really great today. I'm gonna wake up skinny tomorrow. I'm gonna lose a pound or a couple of pounds or something. You wake up the next morning, it didn't budge at all. The scale didn't move at all, and you're really disappointed, or maybe even gained a pound. I have found that actually I don't see the results of whatever I'm doing for 2 days. So don't be discouraged if you wake up the next morning and the scale hasn't moved. Keep doing what you're doing and keep in mind that you may not see the result until 2 days later. And that can go both ways. Like sometimes you have a bad day and you think, oh, I didn't do very well today. You wake up the next morning and you lost weight. Well, it's probably from the day before where you did really well, and it's just taken 2 days for that to catch up. So you're losing the water weight, you've lost a little bit of fat because you ate really well, you exercised, whatever, you did all the things you needed to do. So keep that in mind too. Number 4 is sleep quality. I think I'm on number 4. So if you're not getting good sleep, your body's going to produce cortisol. It's going to amp up all of your hunger cues to try to get energy from somewhere because you didn't get enough rest the night before and you need energy, and your body's just like, I got to get it from somewhere. Send all the cravings we can. We need sugar, we need this, we need that. Just get her to eat some stuff so I have fuel to make up for the fact that we didn't sleep well. And I have trouble with sleep. I really have to work at it. I've changed a lot of things that I'll probably do a video to tell you what I'm doing different that is helping me sleep better. But until then, just look into maybe Dr. Huberman Labs podcast. He's got some great podcasts about sleep quality and how to get better sleep. He's actually the one that I'm following a lot of his recommendations, and it's helping. So I would send you there until I can make the video. But gotta get that sleep. There's no way around it. If you're not sleeping well, you will weigh more. So you gotta figure out how to get that sleep. Go see your doctor if you have to, but figure it out. That's important. I think I'm on number 5. Gut biome. Probiotics are so important because in this day and age we are bombarded by so many pesticides and herbicides and toxins and steroids in food and meat and chemicals in our food that just kill our good gut biome. So you need to be taking a good probiotic every once in a while, maybe drinking some milk kefir or water kefir if you're a vegan, a good active cultured yogurt, sauerkraut, not the canned stuff, like the homemade stuff, like actual fermented vegetables, those sorts of things. Kombucha is really good, but you got to keep the gut biome up and also feed it. So you need all of the fruits and vegetables and grains and those sorts of things to feed the gut biome to keep them healthy. And if you do that, they'll crowd out all of the bad ones and your body will be able to keep the good gut biome happy so that your digestion's working properly and all of that. There are actually certain probiotics that have been found in the gut of thin people that they found are not present in overweight people. And I'll do a separate video on that. And yes, you can do something about it to help fix that. And I will talk to you about that in that video. But gut biome is a big one. Okay, number 7, spandex. Spandex. We have so many stretchy clothes these days. Everything's stretchy. Jeggings, leggings, yoga pant, stretchy dresses, loose everything. Everything's loose or stretchy. And we never have that uncomfortable feeling like we used to have whenever jeans didn't stretch. Jeans were just cotton, made, just regular blue jeans, didn't have any spandex in them. And they didn't stretch whenever you ate too much. Now, it doesn't bother us because our stomach just stretches whenever we eat, or we've gained weight. Like, you used to put the jeans on and you'd feel like, hey, wait a minute, that's a little tight. I need to watch what I'm eating. Apparently, I'm gaining a few pounds. And you need to get on that scale, figure out how much it is, so that you can take care of that. But our clothing is a big deal because we have way too much spandex going on. There's no discomfort involved. There's no red flags going up that, hey, wait a minute, my clothes aren't fitting the same anymore, because they fit no matter what size we are, because they're just like one size fits all. It stretches into oblivion. Like, stop wearing so many stretchy things. There are still clothing out there that don't stretch that much, and at least get your size, and it will help you just be a little uncomfortable whenever you start eating too much or you're gaining a little bit of weight. It helps send that little cue up that I need to watch what I'm eating and maybe not have so much of this thing or whatever. So, spandex. Yeah. And number 8 is who you're hanging out with. I know this one's a really hard one, but our friends and our family can really influence how we eat and how we behave. And if you're hanging out with people who eat unhealthy, eat really large portions of food, don't exercise, have a sedentary lifestyle, you're going to tend to follow suit unless you have a really strong will to resist that. And once you train yourself into, I'm going to eat this way, this is how I eat, this is how I exercise, these are the things I participate in, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's okay. But until you're strong enough to actually resist those behaviors, you're going to have to really work on making new habits for yourself so that you can be strong around those people. And sometimes they'll feel threatened by the changes that you're making, and they'll say, oh, you're not the same anymore. Oh, who do you think you are? Miss, I exercise and diet and whatever, you think you're better than us, or you can't participate in going out to, whatever, Cheddar's or something, whatever the fatty food place is du jour, or you're going to go exercise and not sit on the couch and watch movies with us all day long, So they can feel threatened by that because it makes them feel guilty that they're not doing it. Deep down, that's really what the problem is. They just feel guilty that they're not doing it too. So just love them. Don't, try not to get upset about it, and just realize that that's what it is. They just feel guilt. And you keep taking care of yourself. Maybe too, look for some friends that do those things. People who do eat a healthy diet and exercise and participate in activities outside like biking or hiking or something that you're interested in. You don't have to get rid of your other friends, but there's always room for more friends, right? You can always add to the mix. Your family's a hard one too. Family gatherings, there's all the, fat, especially in the South, fatty foods and sugary fatty foods and lots of it and lots of things to try, and all of those things. Those are really hard times and hard things to resist whenever you're around all of that. So you just have to really, like I said, get yourself into the habit of, those aren't things that I eat. I'm not going to participate in eating unhealthy things because I want to take care of my body, and I don't want to undo all the hard work that I've done with eating healthy and exercising and losing this weight. I don't want to undo that. So yeah. So those are 8 things that are probably keeping weight on you that don't really have anything to do with food or exercise directly. So I hope that helps, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.